All right, everyone. Welcome to, I guess, the first hangout in 2026. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone enjoyed their Christmas. It's been obviously a couple weeks. We took I guess, a winter break from hanging out, akin to the one that Steve and I have from school right now. So just like we're going to pick back up. I assume, Steve, you're picking back up on Monday. Is that when you're going back in session?
Yep, I'll be back. Yeah, we'll be back to the regular routine on Monday. Looking forward to it, actually.
I know, me too. I always say it's kind of like a break to go back to work from family
Oh,
life.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, so we're also back to the swing of things today. I figured I wasn't sure if it would work out on New Year's Day. I don't know how you guys celebrate New Year's Day, but I figured like it's a cool way to start the year, is like first day of the year, hang out, talk some cards. We, as kind of the description and title indicate, we are hoping to go through and just kind of talk about 2025, reminisce, look back, think back, obviously, from card pickups to what shenanigans we got into hobby wise, and hopefully anyone else can join in. Speaking of which, Tim's here. What's up, Tim? How you doing? Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year, guys.
And if you too want to join, there's a QR code up at the top of the screen. We'll keep it up for a little. I always forget to take it down, so hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully I remember to take it down. And then there's also a link in the chat, so please feel free to share. I know there's been a lot of sharing going on Instagram and stuff like that, which is obviously a really natural place to be sharing cards and pickups and stuff. But yeah, feel free to join in the chat or via the stream. And yeah, looking forward to kind of looking back on a year and seeing maybe if we have thoughts on what the next year holds. So that's kind of where I think we can pick up. I don't know if anyone has any place in particular they're thinking of as a nice jump in point.
Yeah, well, I'll just jump in. I know you've been traveling, Joey, and like you said, Happy New Year to everybody. But so I don't know if you realize that this is the perfect pregame ceremony, because your Sacramento Kings are about to host the Boston Celtics in an hour. So good timing. We're going to log off here, and I'm going to hop right onto that feed and watch the game. And
should we log off, or should we just watch that, just continue things and just watch it through?
Do you even know the full roster of players on the Kings these days?
I try not to. I mean,
I know it's tough.
Dude, we just lost by 40 something to the Clippers. So
I was going through a few of the headlines just to kind of get ready for the West Coast swing. But no, just to jump into it before we look back on everything. I mean, this is called Hoops Hobby Hangouts. I just want to give a little something about last 2 weeks, because I actually had a chance to do a little hangout myself. One, I'll say that when we did go on break, I teased that I might make some YouTube content, and guys, I didn't. I can't for the life of me find my tripod, so I'm sure it's probably in this mess of stuff behind me, because my wife is the most disorganized person in the world and probably buried it under wrapping paper. But while we were off from the break, I actually had an opportunity to, for the first time ever, hung out with Pristine Paper, Evan, who's been on the show many times. Even though we're both in Massachusetts, we've just never been able to link up. And Kyle from Wax Museum Podcast was flying into Boston for a game, so I hadn't ever met him in person either. So agreed to meet him, pick him up at the airport, because I live 10 minutes from Logan Airport. And Kyle and I met up with another friend of mine, Kevin, and Evan. We all went out to lunch, went out to a card shop. Kyle very graciously, as a thank you for the airport ride, I don't know if you can zoom in on this, but he dabbles in custom cards a little bit. So this is a stealing inspiration from 5758 Topps. This is a red Auerbach cut auto. So he buys postcards of Hall of Famers and stuff, and then he'll he doesn't give himself enough credit. It's a higher quality custom. So really cool. I've got one other red auto. He does have some certified cut cards, but most of the stuff you'll find is just like, he's a very gracious signer game. So I have a Skybox team logo card that he signed for someone else. I don't know. I think he signed it to Sam or something, but nice little piece there, and fun to finally, link up with Kyle and Evan. Always good to have some. So I had some real life hangouts while we were gone, and obviously I would say relaxing holiday break, but not so relaxing, because, with young kids, great break. Loved it, but definitely getting ready to be back to the routine for sure. So No major pickups on my end. I got one blaster of Tops. I'll give Adam said this to me in a chat one day when he got his first Tops blaster. I'll give him credit for a flagship product. It's a good quality product. Like the cards are nice. It's a good stock. Again, I don't think I wouldn't go buy a blaster myself, but Santa put a blaster of Tops in my stock. You know what? I lied. It's not even a blaster. It's a hanger pack. So it was really, there was nothing in there to pull. But I was impressed. Good quality for a flagship product. So that's really my only actual hobby update, for the last 2 weeks.
I don't know if I mentioned at any point, but my brother at some point got me some of those Costco boxes of Topps flagship, and I kind of agree with you. I felt like it just looked good. I mean, overall, obviously, there's a lot to be desired photographically and with things in terms of design in some case, but I think you put it well. I agree. I think the quality of the cards is pretty good.
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of negative publicity about the Chrome version of it, coming out so fast afterwards, and I think just inundating people's SKUs. But like I said, for a flagship, I mean, you compare it to Donruss or Hoops or going back in the day, Panini Complete. I mean, just a solid, very solid, just mass-produced flagship product. So I'll give I don't give Topps a lot of credit, but I'll definitely give them credit for that. I was really impressed with the quality of the cards.
Speaking
Probably
of
the time to pick it up, right?
Ryan came on, so let's go.
What's that?
I said, speaking of negativity, I saw you toggle your, your speaker.
No, I actually wasn't going to be negative this time. I was just going to say it's probably a good time to pick up the flagship, right? Now that Chrome's out and it's like the new hot thing. So maybe a good time to pick up the flagship stuff.
Yeah, and it seems like people are liking chasing the base set or like the Black Parallel set. So, I think they've done a good job with that. And it's all since been like we got Chrome, and I don't even know if they've shared a release schedule of what they'll be bringing us next as far as products. But Chrome's sort of been overkill, but the flagship has been nice. So we'll see where it goes. Heading into 2026, like Joey said, well, don't know what to expect, but it's off to a good start as far as at least they've given us something to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really cool to connect out there in Boston. Did Kyle go out for one game?
Yeah, he had an opportunity to another collector that he knows really well, Alex Connell, had an opportunity to get some free tickets, and they both do the whole autographing thing. So I guess I didn't even realize he just fished the idea to Kyle, hey, if you ever want to come out here, I could get you in. They had like passes to get into the arena early and everything. So he flew out just for the game, and when he was in the area, like I said, I live so close to Boston. I was like, buddy, I'll definitely link up with you at some point. And it just ended up working that a couple of us were around. He flew in on a Sunday, so even though it was like he was on break already, he's also works in education. I wasn't on break yet, so only had an afternoon free. But it was a fun time. Good to meet up with a few people. Went out to this legendary restaurant in the area, which is just Chinese food, but it's known for like hosting like wrestling events and autograph signings and stuff, called the Kowloon. So I thought, I don't like Chinese food, but it was interesting to go to a place that's sort of a local legend, and yeah, had a good time.
That's very cool.
Speaking of Kyle, he has a great Garrison Matthews Indiana Pacers custom card that he's keeping aside for me. I don't think that one's ever going to be printed. He was there. He was in Indiana so briefly, and he's closing in on my 3-point threshold for making a full page. So I when I saw that on Kyle, I was like, Kyle, please make me one. We'll never see that again.
Very cool. I guess on that note, Ryan and I had a similar thing. I mean, we three of us, Steve and Ryan and I, all participated in the Pack to the Future Secret Santa that was this past Saturday. So obviously, if you haven't yet checked that out, check it out. If you haven't yet checked out Pack to the Future, check it out. I mean, the funniest like hobbies related in content you'll find out there. But yeah, so it's a Secret Santa where everyone was assigned someone to purchase cards out of a provided description or list of things that that person collects. Then you shipped it to shipped it to, I think it was shipped to Chad, one of the hosts of Pack to the Future. They put together some stuff. It was a great care package that they sent out with the gift. And then on Saturday evening, there was this big Zoom sort of thing where we just kind of opened and kind of hung out. And I just happened to be, like Steve referenced, I was traveling. I was out in Denver. My sister lives in Denver, so my family kind of went to visit her family. And just so happened, I found out when Ryan sent me some cards, maybe the week of Christmas, and I was leaving the day after Christmas from California to Denver, that he lives in the same city as my sister. And it turns out like a couple, what is it, a mile? How far do you live?
Yeah, it's probably about a mile, if
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so a
I
mile.
gotta let me see if I can screen share it. Let's see.
I believe in you.
Add to stage.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so it was a big
there's
thing.
us in this room here.
Yeah, down in that bottom left corner. Yeah. So I actually went over to Ryan's house and we participated in the Secret Santa off his computer together, which was a ton of fun. I mean, I know unfortunately that was the only kind of interaction that we had, Ryan. I know we had talked about trying to head out to a card shop sometime this week, trying to, I don't know, do something like that. Didn't end up working out. I mean, I had like my wife and 3 kids out in Denver, and we were all with my sister and her 2 kids and husband. So it was kind of chaotic, but it was fun to come over. I got to meet your brother and your wife and saw your kids kind of wreaking some havoc out over there. So it was fun. It was fun to come over, and I appreciate you kind of welcoming me into your house for a bit.
Probably better than hiding in a corner of your sister's house trying to get your laptop out and not have screaming kids get on the mic and all that.
Oh yeah, totally. No, it was for me definitely a better setup. Hopefully it wasn't too inconvenient for you.
No, it was good. Yeah. And I got inundated with holiday things as well. So next time we'll hit a card show, a card shop, something. So
yeah, I know. In theory, I typically try to make it out once a year. So maybe we'll be able to set something up.
Nice. Yeah, that was fun too. I had a blast on that stream. For those of you saw Steve on there as well, he was part of it. How long have you been doing that, Steve, with the Pact of Future guys? Has that been going on in a couple of years? Or?
Yeah, this is their, I don't know, I should probably know because I've done it since the beginning, but it's their 4th, or maybe even 5th year of doing it. They kicked off their podcast during the pandemic when a lot of other did. And yeah, it's honestly, I've got like a very good hobby friend, guy named Kevin Cormier, lives out by me, and we live right near each other. We're at shows all the time together, but the first time we actually met was through a Secret Santa a couple of years ago. Like I didn't even know who he was. And ever since then, he's been one of my like go-to, like hit up a show together. He sets up a lot. So yeah, it's fun. It's a good group. It's just like, they don't take themselves too seriously. So it's fun hobby content. They kind of just get on there and talk shop, and they do some of the pricing stuff, but it's they'll do the market stuff based on what they collect, right? So if they're after a certain set, they'll talk about the market value or the pricing history of it, but that's a very minor part. It really is just them talking shop. And yeah, it's always a good time that's how Adam and I met. We during the pandemic, there was just a group of collectors that wanted to just hang out because you couldn't leave your damn house enough, or you couldn't get out or trade cards as easily. So we put together sort of a group chat, and we would hang out every Wednesday playing trivia and trading cards together. So, I think Pact of the Future kind of just does that in podcast style, a little more formal than we do, but a similar sort of flavor, I think, to it. And obviously their production quality is a lot higher than ours. They have the soundboards, they've got shtick, they've got it all. They're definitely a more professional layered program than we are, but same type of content.
Like commend them for the effort that they put on that Secret Santa. I mean, that's a lot of work to get all the cards, pack them up, the swag up. So I got like a coffee mug and, like a button or something like that, all this stuff in there, a couple packs of cards, and then ship it out to everybody. Plus they did some giveaways at the end of it. It was really cool and a lot of work. So if you guys are listening in, thanks again. That was really fun. Definitely
appreciate
that again.
Adam, Tim, what have you guys been up to over the holiday season, if anything, hobby related or outside?
Basically nothing for me. There's like nobody around me that has like-minded interests really that I would socialize with too much. People I know, obviously, but nothing too serious to where I would hang out or go out of my way to
Yeah.
to go to a show or shop or anything with. So pretty much just a normal break. Saw family, had a good time. Just got off work a couple days. Can't complain.
Sounds like you need to move to Boston so you and Steve and Evan and whatever can all connect.
Adam doesn't mind visiting Boston. He wants nothing to do with living in Boston.
That's for sure. I mean, an hour with Steve and his accent in this video is a lot. Being around it 24/7, I don't know. I might go postal.
He came out. He came out here, and myself and someone else took him out to dinner, and the look of disgust on his face when he had to order a hot dog bun that was actually like split top. Like, we have our own style hot dog buns out here, and then he ordered a lobster roll. He goes, "What's a lobster roll?" I was like, "It's a pile of lobster in a roll. You have to really like lobster." He's like, "Well, I mean, I like lobster, but like, well, then it's just a lobster roll." And he ordered it, and he was pissed that he got a pile of lobster in a roll. So Adam didn't have a very good cultural experience when he was in Boston for a few days.
The hot dog thing still I laugh about often. It's I'd never seen that before. I thought they literally just handed me a piece of bread around a hot dog. It was at a card show. So I was like, they run out of hot dog buns or what's up with this? I've never seen that before. To this day, I've yet to see it, I think, anywhere other than there. So I mean, it's just not what we have around here.
Do you have any connection to Boston? Like, did you ever live there?
No.
Where did the Celtics fandom come from? Just the players and the
basically, I have no team locally. I mean, the closest team is the Pacers, and I've never met a Pacer fan in my life that locally. So like, there was no love lost for the Pacers. And growing up, Antoine Walker played for the Celtics, and he was still like talk of the town from UK. And everybody around here is huge Kentucky Wildcat fans. So that was kind of a push. And then obviously the lore of like the history of the Celtics didn't hurt anything. And then as time goes on, the Celtics draft Rondo, which only propelled that even further. And then they get the big three, and they're actually good for, I don't know, the first time in my life after like 7 or 8 years of being a fan and then being in the dumpster. So finally they're good, and it just like lit fire underneath me essentially in terms of the fandom when they actually have a team that's worth watching versus the Paul Pierce solo years.
I'm going to put you on. I was going to say not to put you on the spot, Adam, but to put you on the spot. But there's also some oddball personal connection with a 2-time MVP from the Celtics, right?
That didn't hurt either. Dave Cowens is from like, I don't know, 10 minutes away from me, probably something like that. So that was also some kind of cool lineage, if you will.
Yeah, I'm sure that doesn't hurt. Yeah, I guess I just assumed you had been from Boston at some point, but very interesting. Cool. That was very cool. Sorry, Tim, you didn't get a chance to share what you.
Oh, that's okay. I'm listening to all you guys. But pretty standard holiday week, and I went to different families and friends' houses or out for New Year's Eve yesterday, and pretty low key for the cards. I got a couple things in the mail, but I did get a hanger and a blaster box, and nothing to report out of those of note. It's funny, like Adam said, there aren't many people in his area that he could talk cards with, so they're stuck with going online and talking to everyone that we meet around the country. And I moved to a new county this year. I don't even have one friend yet that I've met, let alone a hobby friend. So if you guys know anyone out in Suffolk County, Long Island, let me know. Connect me.
Okay, we'll put out a feeler, maybe like a poll or something. Oh, very cool. Should we start like talking about cards more specifically and sharing our cards? Because the whole kind of motivation or thought for this was to talk about our favorite pickups. Do you guys want to just kind of like all go rapid fire? Each person shows their whatever couple of cards, or do you want to just do one?
Just so we're not talking over each other, why don't you just randomly call it a name, Joey, and then we'll just like each person show like one card at a time. So you just say like, hey, I'll start with you. Like, I'll throw it to you. Why don't you pick a card that you wanted to share that you picked up? But then why don't you just sort of just keep us organized a little bit and just set, kind of run it a little bit.
It's a lot of responsibility. You have a lot of faith in me, I think.
I'll talk over you and redirect if need be.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, just keep me in line. I think it could be easy if we just go in order as on the screen. So like
Perfect.
Me, Adam, Tim, you, and keep going through that. Sorry, Ryan, you're kind of pushed back, even though you're first on the screen.
Yeah, it's all good. No, I like it.
Yeah. So I kind of put my cards chronologically in the time of the year that I got them. So in the very first part of the year, January. In January, I found a card and I purchased it that I'd been looking for a long time, for years. And it's actually, to my understanding, not the pack pulled version of it. And it, back when, I guess the beginning of last year, back when Iowa Dave, the shallow end, he did the Chase series about, I think it was 30, maybe 18, like collectors that finally found a card they've been looking for a while. He reached out to me and we talked about this card for like 15 minutes or whatever on his podcast. And it's the Kevin Martin 0405 rookie photo shoot auto. And the reason I say that this is not the pack pulled version is because there's no stamp on the back. So the ones that were pack pulled had a stamp up here, like a certificate of authenticity stamp from Topps. And so this one, from what I understand, and I did some research because for a while I wasn't even sure if this card existed or whatever. And those were ones that had been released, I guess, given to the player. So apparently these ones that have no stamp were given to the player, and there's an unknown amount out there. I ended up finding one of these, but I think I saw that in my searches for this card that somebody on eBay was putting out a bounty for, like, if you know where a stamped version of this card is, and I still have never seen a stamped version of this specific card, he would pay like $1,000 for it, or $500. I forget the exact number, but for a Kevin Martin autograph, that's
Damn.
bonkers stuff.
Yeah, before you added that in, I was going to say that I've also heard that for some players, getting an actual like pack pulled copy versus the play distributed copies is much harder, and there are several set collectors that are highlighting the true hobby released versions from various years of those. So that's a super cool card with some good story behind it.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
And I think it looks great. Not many people are into portrait cards for some reason, but I think I really like it. It's like a school photo, a class photo, and I think it looks really sharp. I don't think I've seen one of that type of card in any player. So that really good looking, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. And obviously, this, I think, is what eventually led to the popularity of the Panini Next Day autos. So it kind of is the original in that lineage. But anyway, Adam, you want to keep us going?
Oddly enough, you used the word lineage. I grabbed a card from the set All-Star Lineage. I've been looking for one of these for a long time. I really like it. Bill Russell, number of All-Star appearances from Immaculate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very nice.
It's a nice hollow foil. I love that the photo includes him in the All-Star uniform holding the trophy. But that's one I've been after for a while. So when I thought of cards I picked up this year, that was one that came to mind.
That's the initial year of that, right? 12-13 Immaculate.
Yeah, they've redone them in I think 2 more years. They did one with acetate, which I love acetate, but the original is still better to me. And then they did one this final year of Immaculate, but they changed the design altogether. I really don't like it nearly as much.
I don't think I've seen those yet. I'll have to look them up. That was one of the chase cards when Immaculate first dropped back in 2013. I mean, that set was highly sought after, so I'm not surprised it's taking you a while to land one at a fair price.
Yeah, I actually have a much less cool one coming in. I forgot they didn't have mail today, or it would have probably been here, but I picked up a Robert Parrish just the other day.
Awesome. Nice grab.
Yeah. I love sets like that from Immaculate because it has the Immaculate vibe, but it doesn't feel like a carbon copy of a lot of the Immaculate designs with just minor tweaks. So it feels like an Immaculate card, but it's a unique Immaculate card. So it's a beautiful card.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Tim, you want to carry on?
Sure. I've talked a lot of positive things about Prism from this past year, 24-25. I thought the design was maybe the best in 8 years or so for in regard to Prism. I personally think they designed it for the OKC Thunder, assuming they would have a big year, and they ended up winning the championship. So I tried to get my hands on anything orange or blue of the OKC players I could that was in my price range. Couldn't get too many, but I really loved the Alex Caruso. This is one I could get my hands on. In the orange, the design with the O is just, it screams OKC. So for me, this was a big pickup this year.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a good looking card. I mean, that is a case where I don't know about all Prism parallels from this year or whatever, but at least that combination with the orange and I think it was the fast break. Is that the fast
That's
break?
fast break, yeah.
Fast breaks disco, no? Okay.
Yeah, the disco.
Mhm.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I agree. The O and the orange and he's in the blue uniform. That's a great card.
Maybe we should do a trivia game someday, Joey, where I name a random Prism parallel and you have to tell me what it looks like in what iteration, what SKU it came from, whether it was fast break or choice or premium set or hobby, retail. I mean, there's so much.
Are you making a suggestion for what we should do next week?
I can confidently say I would be terrible.
Yeah. I follow the stuff and I'd be terrible at it. I mean, there's so much stuff out there right now.
We'd have to get
Only
Kyle
gonna
to
get
come
worse.
on because he did that one thing where he made up those parallels or whatever from the different Panini releases. I feel like he did enough research to be good at that game.
I sent him a couple that were real. Like there's one from Optic of I might even have said it on this show before. It's called International Electricity. Like there's just stuff that is like, how do you even come up with that? Or there's one from Optic this year is called Jazz. It looks like Jazz is a very famous print. It's the Dixie Cup print. But why did they make a parallel that looks like a Dixie Cup? But when you see it, like you can't unsee it. It looks just like a Dixie Cup. But why did they come up with that? I have no idea. And
yeah, Steve,
go ahead, Ryan.
I feel like you're going to be pretty good at that. Just given like Jay Crowder, you went off after all his cards, but in the tops era, are you going to be as good?
No. I haven't. I hate that they. One of the things that like Chrome. I'm trying not to swear here. I hate that they muddied the water with stuff like red refractors. Like I was seeing, like there's a bunch of out of 5 different red refractors. There's like a red basketball refractor and red wave refractors. Like this stuff that I think should have been like sacred ground that I wish they didn't mess with. And the red refractors and the gold refractors were one of them.
Well, it's just the multiple variations of red, the multiple variations of gold, the multiple variations of whatever else. It's just when is enough too much, you know?
We're gonna find out
it's
soon.
ever going to be too much. Yeah. So
I definitely agree. And the one that really irked me was the blacks are now to 10.
Yeah.
Because I always loved the black parallels, and they were usually numbered, 100 plus most years.
Mhm.
And now that they're numbered to 10, it makes it so tough.
And that was a good secondary. Like you could get like the base refractor and a black refractor, and then like the golds are always out of 50. Like that was always a nice run to have. Keep it clean. And like for myself, I'm not a big X Fractor fan, so I would go like just the base colors, and I wouldn't need the blues or the I'm actually not a big fan of the reds, even though I appreciate them in the hobby. But yeah, I agree with you, Adam. Like it would have been nice to have them, a little bit higher print run. They did say they were going to keep it consistent, so everything that is black should be out of 10 then, right? So whether they're going to do black pulsar or black wave or whatever, those should all be out of 10. That's at least one thing that they've told us, that there'll be consistency there.
And people in baseball really like the configuration, right? I mean, don't baseball collectors love reds out of 5, blacks out of 10, golds out of 50? I don't know. I'm not that familiar with set collecting or player collecting or whatever in baseball, but I think that it's pretty popular.
Yeah, you're relatively spot on there. I'd agree with that, Joey.
All right, Steve, what do you got?
Yeah, so this is the only. So I'll just say I brought 3 different cards to talk about. This is the only one that I'm going to go long-winded on. It's also we were talking about good-looking cards. This is completely, admittedly, an ugly card, but it's a women's basketball card. So the story is that, and I'll just let me show the card. So this is Veronica Burton. She's my current favorite WNBA player. She's local in Massachusetts. She comes from a very, very well-connected sports family. So her grandfather was the first ever draft pick of the New England Patriots. Her father's prominent in Boston media. Her uncles work for the Red Sox. Her sister does pregame, postgame for the Celtics. So local kid, went to Northwestern, so didn't go to like UConn or anything like that, and has really become a star in the WNBA. So my favorite player, and this is a set. So Panini doesn't do any. She doesn't have any autographs with Panini, and Panini doesn't do any player worn or game used memorabilia. So these are all player worn. So photo shoot RPAs, and it's a very oddball set. And what they did was it's like 10 parallels, and the parallels just based on the foil color. So this is, even though it's not shining that well on camera, this is like the hollow gold out of 10. And then for every single parallel, they had a 1-on-1 iteration, and all it was the same foil color but with a black background. Well, this year I was able to land the true 1-of-1. So this is the true 1-of-1 from the base set. I'm going after the rainbow. The only one I need left is, ironically, a red foil out of 5 to complete the base set. So full Nike swoosh, RPA of my favorite player. Hideous card, but such an oddball set that I kind of really appreciate like the hunt behind something like this. Until this year, she wasn't even a well-known professional basketball player. She was sort of bounced around the league, was waived a few times, and then went and won the Most Improved Player of the Year award. Was the only player to start every single game for an expansion team out in Golden State. So really sort of kind of came out of the woodworks, and I've been collecting her for a while. So to find that true RPA 101 was a big pickup for me this year that I was really excited about.
Got to be on the hunt for the out of 5 for you, right?
I missed one. Right. So back when I was bidding on one of these random, like, I don't know, off-brand 101s, these black 101s they had, and one of the 5 sold at the same time. I mean, it was like a $4 card. They're not expensive. It's just now, I mean, who knows? I don't even know I have no idea who would walk into a hobby shop and pay money for a box of Leaf Trinity, right? So that's part of it too. It's like how much of this stuff's out there and who's opening. It was a multi-sport product, I believe, or maybe they might have had a basketball version of it or a football version of it, but it's a multi-sport brand. So yeah, to find another out of 5 is going to be an oddball one to find, but enjoy the hunt. And when I do, it'll probably be a $10 card, and I'll be super excited to land a $10 card, which is, that's how you have to balance your collection, right? You chase some of the big cards and everything, but it's also fun to get some of that lower end stuff that means something to you too. So what do you got, Ryan? What are you sharing?
All right. I got one of like a lot of Emmanuel Mudiay cards that I picked up. And I chased Emmanuel Mudiay quite a bit back in the day. So this is not a high value card today, but back in 2015 or whatever, definitely was. And I probably went after this exact one or something similar to it. Trying to win this variation. I think this year they had a couple different variations of these RPAs in Flawless. So I landed this one and probably 3 or 4 others. I think I paid a total of maybe like $70 shipped for all of them. But just a fun pickup because this would have been, I'm guessing, probably $150, $200 card back in the day. So just excited to see that show up, and somebody was super collecting them or something, and they had maybe like 10 different Moutiers. I went after maybe half of them just for nostalgia's sake, So just something fun to pick up. Not a crazy, super expensive card by any means, but just one that has like sentimental and nostalgia value to it,
And a beautiful patch too. I mean, as a Celtics fan, we have a lot of very boring patches, and even the nice patches are not nearly as multicolored, stitched as something like a Denver Nuggets or, Golden State Warriors jersey. So like, it's just a beautiful combination of auto, image, patch, hollow foil. I mean, it's pretty much everything you want out of a patch auto.
And the image too is, I'm big on photography, right? So it's like very cool to have him like doing something and like dribbling up the court or something like that.
Which feels especially rare for Flawless. I mean, it's great that it's
Flawless has a lot of just kind of like guys' portraits and stuff, which makes sense because, it's more focused on the autograph or the patch that they have in Flawless. But just to get one where it has like the combination of everything, that's actually the reason I picked that one, is because my favorite, just because of the photo and kind of the layout that they had for that card.
I know we've talked about that foil, but it really goes well with that team color.
Oh, yeah, the platinum. Yeah, that's the other, the platinum for the out of 10s. Really good. Yeah. Very shiny.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you said you got like 4 or 5 of those?
Yeah, they're all Flawless. So nice. I think the guy that listed them probably had collected them back in the day or something, right? Because he had a bunch of Moutier stuff, and it wasn't all Flawless, but that was the kind of stuff I was really interested in. I'm not trying to pick up, lower end lower end, I say, but he had a lot of like a high end for the time, but just sets that I don't really care about as much. So I went after the flawless pretty much only.
I'm in a small group chat, Joey, with Ryan that Ryan set up when he was like beta testing the hobby boards, and it was along the lines of like one day he's like, "Yeah, I'm not picking much up. I'm kind of out on cards right now." And the very next day, well, I just spent like $80 on Moody 8 cards, so I guess I'm back in it.
Yeah, what did I do? But yeah, sometimes you see that stuff and you're just like, okay, you know, I'm never going to get anything out of those cards probably, and nor would I want to, but it's just, you see the opportunity, right?
Yeah, scratches an itch too, you know, for the whole collecting gene.
Exactly.
Yeah, and does it get any better than picking up a card you were willing to pay maybe more for in the past? Now you get multiples, you know.
I bet you I probably put in $100+ bids back in 2015, which is a lot of money back then, just to try to get those and lose out. So to see them show up was cool.
Nice. I guess that, Joey. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few things. I'm sure I could figure out more, but the next one maybe around May or something. I think this card had been on eBay for a while, and then like I thought it was too expensive or overpriced. It ended up I got one of those seller offers in my email, and I was like, oh, you know what? It's like pretty cheap, and it ends up it's like a 101. So this is the a dual patch from UD Ultimate from 2007, 2008. Is it Premier? Sorry, from Premier of Spencer Hawes and Brad Miller. So it's Spencer Hawes' rookie year, player worn, and then Brad Miller game worn. I don't know that the patches are really coming through, but a couple nicely stitched patches. Yeah, thanks. Nice hollow foil on there, gold hollow foil. So yeah, I liked picking that up, and I you know, as a team collector, I'm a huge fan of dual and triple cards. So if I can, and as a person who prefers patches, getting a card like that, to me, that's super cool. It's like the center from the team, and then who is supposed to be the next the next starting center of the team, both of which, you know, didn't pan out, but it's fine.
I go back and forth on, so for those that might be listening just on audio, the patch windows are laser cut to make an S and a K for Sacramento Kings. And I go back and forth on that because part of me wants just open up the patch window, right? So show me as much of the relic as you can. But when it's meaningful and targeted like that, and there's not a lot of, you know, cutouts going across the patch, I think that's like a super unique and cool piece. And Spencer Hawes was awesome. I loved watching him play basketball. I was a big fan of his. So that's a really cool piece, Joey.
Yeah, he's one of my more favorite underrated guys that often gets forgotten, kind of turned into a journeyman. But he's not just the next center of the Kings. He kind of had a very similar game somewhat to Brad Miller, right?
Yes.
Big man shooting, and kind of on the beginning of that kind of era of big men shooting. So I think that's a really sharp one. And I almost forgot Hawes was on the Kings. He was on so many teams, you forget.
He's actually pretty hated by Kings fans now, because in that saga when they were potentially going to leave Sacramento, I think he had said something, I don't know, in an interview or on social media about how like the team just needs to get out of Sacramento, something like that. So now all Kings fans hate him. But we'll see. Maybe that'll make it easier to pick up cards cheap. All right, Adam, you're up.
Yeah, this was tough because I was just trying to figure out what my favorites were, but this is one I was real excited about. I've always liked kind of the first year iterations of things, and these are always been tough to find even when they first came out, but picked up this Bird first year flawless emerald to 3, number 3 of 3 for the kind of
beautiful
quasi jersey number. But so that was a pretty cool one. Ended up getting it kind of middle of the year.
That auto is sharp. That LA in the beginning for Larry, wow, that's really good looking.
Yeah, that is amazing.
But I love the emerald.
Yeah. And it's cool that it's out of 3, right? With the emerald usually being out of 5.
Yeah, that was kind of an added bonus. The kind of more short printed version of a first year set, which is also pretty cool to me. But yeah, there's this one I've always liked, just kind of the flagship first year design, and they don't pop up a ton. So when I saw it, it was kind of a nice one to snag and put away.
And always loved a factory in case flawless a dynasty card. That is just adds
Agreed.
this something, that stupid little sticker just adds so much like appeal to it for sure.
We have the same feelings, and you know that. But that's one of those things. If the card was 30% less money and wasn't sealed, I would have been like, I don't need it. But like, there's something about having it in its original form that does it for me, and especially today's day and age when so many people grade things. Not even just people who remove them. We talked about pristine paper Evan earlier. He removes his cards from those, regardless of what he's doing with them. I don't know if you've seen that from him at all, but like he got a Isaiah Thomas Timeless Moments sealed card and immediately put it in a regular mag. Like some people just do weird things. So like by now, I would bet there's not a ton of those still sealed, and so that makes it extra special for me.
Well, and I think with relic cards too. I mean, that's you're keeping the factory sale in there, so you're taking away another layer of doubt. But also, if you're a fan of like I'm a big fan of Flawless, I can look at that and instantly know that was the hit within the briefcase, and so like that just gives it a little more prestige too, because you had the box of cards that were unsealed, and you had the one diamond card, and then the one sort of premium card, and that was one of those, that was the hit within somebody's briefcase. So just for many reasons, I just think it looks good. I just think it's, I don't know, big fan. So beautiful card.
Man, it must be. I don't. How do you break a seal on a sealed card? That's just so permanent. I don't know. So.
I mean, there's people out there that do it, and I think it's crazy because for me, it ruins the desirability altogether. And like the other set he mentioned, Dynasty, those are the entire product is one card per pack, all sealed cards. If you see them, it's not like maybe it wasn't sealed at one point. And there are so many of them that aren't sealed or are graded that it makes it so tough to buy them anymore because there's maybe, I don't know, 25% of them that pop up that aren't in some form or fashion unoriginal.
I will say, just for storytelling, the cards that I will break out of a sealed mag or sealed snap case are like there's some mid 2000s refractors from like Pristine and a few other top sets. And the only reason I take them out is one, to get them in a binder, but two, they bow so much that the cards literally, like, I mean, the front of the card will be bowed up. And Ryan's shaking his head because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
We don't waver, Steve. We keep them all sealed.
I know you do. But so some of the sets the cards bow so much that for long-term storage, I'd rather get them out and flatten them. If I have them for a set, I will usually, like, if they're cheap enough, I'll buy 2 copies and keep like a base one in the mag and then one in my binder. But some of them I'll take out just because you could fit probably 3 or 4 quarters under some of those cards. They're bowed up so bad, so I'll take them out just to flatten them. But other than that, I keep everything sealed. I'm with you guys on that one.
I got a quick story about Pristine. So I had an 03 LeBron rookie Pristine refractor, and it was in one of those cases, right? It's not like the mag case. It was kind of like those, I don't know, they sealed together with little tabs or something like that, right? So it was all scratched up. And this is when I was like kind of just getting back into the hobby, maybe 2011-ish, 12, something like that. So I was on blowout forums and I thought, oh man, I got to crack this and grade it because, everybody thinks they should like grade the hot thing, So I cracked it out and just got a bunch of crap on blowout. Like, why did you crack that out? There's so few of those left, all this and that. But it was all scratched up. So I thought, like, what's the big deal? But then in years past, I learned that you can clean those scratches off. I don't know if you guys have used the McGuire's scratch ups, I think it is. Yeah, there's a bunch of different projects. Yeah, there you go, Adam. Adam just showed, what was that, nail polish remover?
It's fine scratch remover, restores original appearances to plastics. Novus.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so that's a specific one for plastic. So is I think the McGuire's is like an auto body type scratch remover, but it does the same thing. So that was like the last card I ever cracked out that was, sealed. But I get people doing it because of scratches, but again, you can clean them off. So I have like my Jokic Immaculate, his rookie Immaculate with the patch in it. I'm like, I'm never going to break that seal because who knows, someday somebody might patch swap those because a lot of them are trim. And I've got like a patch version, which took me a long time to find and acquire. So I'm like, how many of those are going to be left? Probably very few. So
Yeah, for sure.
another good reason to keep them sealed.
Yeah,
That's my
great card,
little
Adam.
tangent story.
Yeah, no, it's good. All right, Tim, what's another card you had?
This will probably be my last time around because I want to make sure you guys have time. I didn't know how many cards we were doing, but I guess
No, we'll rapid fire. Do whatever you need.
Yeah, let me do a quick rapid fire here. I'll try to keep it short with the stories, but in terms of when I got it during the year, around March Madness, I fell in love with, just like everyone in the country, Jack Golke. What a story. I've never seen anything like it. I'm always watching college basketball every year. So I got a Jack Golke orange from, I believe, Bowman Chrome or whatever it was called for basketball. This is out of 49. Somewhat matches his Oakland colors, but what a stud this guy was. What a story. So I as soon as I saw that in that color, I had to spend the extra to get that one. But next up, everyone who knows me knows I love Photogenic. I adore Photogenic, and this card was coming out right before, or the Photogenic came out a little bit before my wedding, I believe, and I was trying to buckle down a little bit, and then I saw the Kyrie Irving card, which could be my favorite card of the season. What a beautiful shot. And I got this one in the Stardust variation, which I love, like a little dusty refractor. So I really fell in love with this one. And it's I think the only card in my showcase on my wall that's not an autograph. The more that Kyrie Irving, before he got hurt on Dallas, the more he played on Dallas, the more I missed him as a Nets fan and regretted me getting pissed off when he wasn't playing. So this was a very fun one for me. And I love the Stardust.
That effect is like such a nice, subtle, pretty effect.
Oh, I loved it. Really small, little, smaller than a fast break, so to speak, for Caruso.
Right.
So I really loved it. Then two more here. Before the season, Fred VanVleet went down, and Houston was without a starting point guard. For some reason, the media and the Rockets were saying Amen Thompson was going to run point, and I immediately said, absolutely not. It's going to be Reed Shepherd. I know he's coming off the bench now, but I had to get my hands on the nicest Reed Shepherd I could afford at the time, which was a totally certified blue variation out of 35, red, white, and blue, which I thought was kind of interesting. Still very high on him. We'll see if he jumps into the starting lineup eventually, but a big fan of him.
I'm actually high on him too. I think he's going to be decent.
The Kentucky
I think so too. Right, Kentucky. Oh, there you go. The blue and the Kentucky. That makes more sense.
Yeah, there you go.
Makes me feel happier about the purchase. But then also the end of the year, this is, I guess, from this year's 25-26. But in the box of flagship, I got the Hobby Jumbo. I did get a blue variation Cooper flag insert out of 250. There's way more expensive Cooper flags than this, but for me to open this on the day it was released gave me some, that little kid excitement of pulling something cool. So I really enjoyed this one this year.
So that's a great hit and a nice vertical card. So it's going to be a good way to start your binder page too. It's going to fit right in there. And it's to pull a card yourself for a PC is always fun.
Oh yeah. It doesn't happen too often. I don't rip too much at all these days. So when the tops first came out, I needed to get my hands on at least one box, but I don't really do boxes anymore. So to get that was a real gift.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah. What a good way to go out on that. Like pulling your own PC card.
That's it for me.
Awesome. I'll jump in. I've only got two more cards. I'm just going to show them together, only because one of them I've already shown on this. We've already talked about. So before we got on, I was talking to you guys behind the scenes. This year, as far as like big pickups, there was not a lot of basketball. It's definitely been stretching out into other areas, whether it be pop culture, football, baseball, were sort of some of my favorite pickups. But another one, and stick with the theme of the last one, is another professional women's basketball player, but Asia Wilson is undoubtedly the best women's basketball player in the world right now, if you ask me. Multi-time MVP, multi-time champion. This is her rookie on-card autograph, and it's just a card that I honestly wouldn't have thought I would ever own. And I was on eBay one day just scrolling, like doom scrolling, and I happened to see this at what I thought was such a steal of a price that I hit the bin without even really knowing what I hit. And And just the side story behind it is I did have a chance to go to Vegas this year. I took my mom out there. My mom loves Vegas and the lights, so I took her out there for a trip to just get her out of town for a little bit. And had a chance to go see the Aces play the Connecticut Sun, which is my local team. So about 2 weeks before I went out there, I landed this. She inspired to go Vegas. And then about 12 hours after I hit the bin on it, I was on Facebook, and in 2 different groups saw people saying, "Who grabbed this one? What a steal." I tried to hit it and was already sold out by the time my bin went through. So a little bit of an immature excitement for me, just knowing that like I sniped it before someone else did. And definitely a favorite card of mine, but also one of the very few cards that I know if I needed to sell it, I could get my money back for it. So it's always kind of fun to have that stuff. And then my favorite pickup of the year, we talked about this in depth on here, is my Jay Crowder 75th anniversary game used logo man from Silhouette. Just went all in, bid an extreme, for me, a very high amount of money for this card, saved up for it, had money set aside specifically hoping a 75th anniversary logo man would come up. The photo shows him wearing the 75th anniversary jersey. You can see the diamond Nike swoosh on it. So PCJ Crowder, I have, try to get as much of his checklist as I can. So to have a game used logo man at the end of his career, but mainly I'm not a big logo man fan, but something about that 75th anniversary just hits a little different for me. So, and again, we've talked about that card in depth, on a different hangout, but that's definitely for basketball cards, my top pickup of the year. So I'll wrap up with that one.
It's a good one to end on, I think, with his career and also the end of the Panini era too. So
yeah,
it's both those marks.
Very excited. As you know, Ryan, I'm very excited that he's going out with Panini so that I can kind of take the step back there from all the tops chasing. Though Hugo Gonzalez, the Celtics rookie, might be tempting me to look at something if they ever get nice autos or game used stuff for him, because he's been a lot of fun to cheer for. So tops could drag me in, but hopefully not Jay Crowder cards.
Right.
Yeah, that's really cool. Ryan, what do you got?
Let's see. I'll rapid fire 2. All right. So I did share that game worn Gary Harris jersey. So that would probably be the number 1 spot. That's not a card. So I had to pick a card, but it's also a Gary Harris card. So BDRR Sports Cards, known him from back in the blowout days, had a story post. I had multiple people hit me up, thankfully enough to let me know, hey, he's got a story post. He's got these Gary Harris logo man. So this is a rookie logo man from Immaculate from 14-15. He was kind enough to let me trade into this completely. So that was really cool to grab that one and to go along with, my rookie game worn jersey that I picked up from My Grays as well. So excited to get that one. These aren't game worn. These Immaculate ones are, player worn, probably photo shoot or something like that. But really excited about that one. And then last one up for me is this Iverson. This is the last one I needed for the X Factor set from 07-08 Topps Chrome. So this is the Allen Iverson X Factor from that year. So really big on putting together the refractor and gold refractors, but as a lot of you may know, the 07-08 did not have gold refractors. So you're mainly chasing refractors and X Factors. And they do look really nice that year. I do like the horizontal design as well with a nice action shot. So
it's a great shot.
Really happy to pick that one up, finish that set off. I'm always big into getting the sets completed, and that one finally completed most of my Topps Chrome run that I'm wanting to do. I probably will go back these next couple of years and do all the base and then some of the blacks maybe as well. Still missing a couple of those here and there, but yeah, the main focus that I've had for literally probably 9-10 years at this point is finished. So it was nice to complete that this year.
Let me ask you something, Ryan, about Allen Iverson. When he came to Denver, that was kind of my first year where I truly locked in on basketball, every detail. And, of course, I went back and looked at the older stuff. But that year I was all in for the first time. Mm-hmm. And that Allen Iverson trade kind of blew my mind because I knew how good he was, statistically and how many points he was always putting up. But over time, we kind of realized in their careers, Melo and AI were kind of I don't want to call them ball hogs, but very ISO kind of players.
Right.
And what was the initial thought when he was acquired before everything happened? What was the initial thought? How confident were you in the Nuggets, joining Melo and Iverson on day one?
So I got to admit, those years I wasn't super into basketball. I was still following it a little bit, but there's just like partying and things going on in my life at that point,
Yeah.
So like
The important
early like jobs and things of that nature. But I think those were pretty fun years. We did have some deep playoff runs in those like late 2000s that were pretty fun. I honestly can't remember like if Iverson contributed a whole ton, but obviously getting like an exciting player like him is cool. And then Chauncey Billups was on the team at that time. He, has gotten some hot water recently, but great player as well. And just those kind of playoff runs were cool and got like the city excited. I remember because I was maybe not focusing too much on basketball. I was out at bars and stuff like that. So I remember a lot of excitement, during those playoff runs and whatnot. So
Yeah, awesome. Those are awesome. I love the pairing of the Harris logo man with the game used. That's so cool.
yeah.
All right, I'll also give my last two real quick. I think I definitely have shared one of them. I think I've shared both of them. I think right before we started hanging out every week, maybe a month or a month and a half before that, I found an Isaiah Thomas collection on Blowout. Among a bigger lot of cards, there was an Isaiah Thomas collection in there. And my favorite card, I think I posted this like on Instagram when people were doing the story stickers or whatever with your like top pickup. So that's his Immaculate Insignias out of 2 with the like crown patch, the King's crown patch. And because obviously this is 12-13 Immaculate, it's the double rookie year. So it actually is game worn. So that to me is just like so cool. The fact that it's a rookie game worn patch out of 2. And again, like patches being my favorite kind of card, I'm just so happy to get like one of my favorite Kings players, at least in the last 20 years, a rookie out of 2 game worn. I think so that's by far my favorite of the whole year. Obviously a great patch. So I'll show it again, but obviously a great patch on there. And yeah, it's just hard to argue with it.
Nice.
And then, sorry, go ahead, Tim. Yeah.
Oh, it looks great, and I love the Kings logo with the black on it too. Anytime you get black in the Kings logos, I'm all in.
I know, and that gray, like the sparkly, like silver on there. I just love when they get that in a patch, that silver.
You got to work your connections. Tell them to change their crappy jerseys they've had recently.
Yeah. Well, the problem is now with these Nike screen printed things, like patches aren't even good anymore anyway. So it's tough.
You got a special kind of smile on your face when you said that sparkly silver piece, Joey. You just lit up a little schoolgirl light up there. For anybody that might want to question you, just a reminder: the double rookie class. What you mean by that is players drafted in 2011 that didn't have cards because of the lockout. A lot of their relics during the 2012 release were game worn. Versus like I've got the Crowder insignia. It's player worn because he was a 2012 draft pick. So there was a distinction. Even in lower end sets like Brilliance and Crusade, you can find some game one, quote unquote, rookie year stuff because it was the second year for the player and they had acquired some stuff. So very cool little addition there. Love it.
Yeah, and those team logos, man, it's hard to beat. I often chase just like team logos. It doesn't really matter to the player for the Nuggets because they just look really cool. The patches. If you get a little chunk of it, or like you have like half of the team logo, that's really neat.
I know it'd be cool to pair it at some point with this is 1 out of 2 with the 2 out of 2. I'm sure it's the second half of the crown. That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
it is.
But yeah, it's interesting, Steve, because for some reason the NTRPA that I got an NTRPA as part of that lot is player worn. So I don't know why the Immaculate. I'm sure because it's a lower numbered set. I mean the NTRPA is that year out of 199, I think. rather than 99. So I'm sure that has to do with it, the numbering, and they wouldn't be able to get that many patches for the RPAs. But yeah, it's very cool. And then the last one is just something that I showed. Definitely when I got it in, I showed it. It was that card that I acquired back, not the exact copy, but a different copy or different version. The sneaking out of the top loader. The Tim Duncan 0910 limited glass cleaners. I pulled a version of this or a copy of it back in 2010 myself, sold it off kind of in the last however many years, was looking for pick it back up. And I finally picked it back up. So now I'm just for that entire rainbow missing the 101. So yeah, so that one is just very nostalgic for me. You guys had mentioned like the nostalgia of picking stuff up, and that's one of the things that I really try to do is pick up stuff that I regret moving. So thankfully I was able to pick that back up.
Your favorite pickup of the year, and you almost just threw it across the room. Please get that in a bag and protect that appropriately.
I know. I really have to. I'm so bad.
that was really close.
A little piece of blue tape or something.
I know. Yeah, I didn't realize it was
the wrong way.
All right, Adam, you want to close this out with your last things?
Yeah, sure. I got a couple of things sitting here. I didn't know how many we were going to do, but I'll try to go through them quick. A couple more things from the first year of Flawless. I had an Emerald Russell pickup also. 11 championship signia, or however you want to word it, on this. Benchmarks, I think they call it, yeah. And then I had at least have one of one for
so nice.
1 of 1. But Platinum Foil, Nate Thurmond, he's a really tough patch in any configuration, let alone a jumbo 1 of 1. Two more from Flawless there, and then I had 2 ABA pickups I've been after forever. A Dr. J Chronology, been one of those since Chronology came out, and just was always kind of second fiddle on the auction, and kept bidding more and more and getting outbid more and more until eventually I paid up and got one. And the number 1 card I've been after for a long time, the Artist Gilmore Silhouette Front. Obviously, holofoil game use ABA stuff is tough, and this is one I've been after for quite a while.
I've said it before. That might be my least favorite year of Silhouette with like the dark background, but on that one, black and white photo with the white jersey and the blue stitching, that's as good as that second look. Like that's a beautiful card, and I actually think I think that looks better than some of the ones from like 2012 or 2013 as far as Silhouette. Like that's just such a nice card.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I do think many cards in that set are very lackluster, but that one works compared to most.
Great stuff
for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things is just like those vintage patches, those old school patches from those old jerseys. I don't know if there's just something about them that's just so cool. You know, it's like even patches from jerseys from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s that aren't the chunkiest, don't have the most breaks or whatever. I mean, there's just something about them that feels so just important, you know, historic.
Looks like satin, the color there for the Gilmore. The blue
I don't know
color.
if you can really see it too. Like you can see like legitimate kind of wear on the stitching, and like it's not just a uniform that was worn for half of a game. This was probably a full season's worth of use. So like the fraying and the imperfections, it's just a whole different ball game than what we get from current modern gamers.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it's a nice patch like that, like that's an actual really, really nice patch too. So
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And quick fun fact before we close out here. You showed the Julius Erving. I was actually coming from Colorado a couple of years ago on a plane, and I walked by Julius Erving in first class, and I shook his hand. That was my favorite, random meeting an NBA person moment.
It's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right, does anyone want to add anything? Those are our favorite pickups. Obviously, at any point, if you are listening now or later or whatever, obviously we'd love for you to share those. And I know everyone's kind of putting them up on Instagram, but you guys have anything you want to say before we close out? I know it was a lot. I mean, of us a lot of times focused on showing the cards we picked up, but whether related to that or otherwise?
No, I just appreciate you guys bringing stuff. I always love, seeing what you guys have in your collection. So appreciate you taking the time to share with us.
Yeah. Anybody has any pickups that they want to share via our page, just hit up the Hoops Hobby Hangout IG page and we'll post them up for you.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. And hopefully looking forward to a similar thing in a year, right, where we can share really cool pickups. I'm sure we'll all have very fun things to look over the next year. So
Awesome.
so yeah. Anyway, if that's that, I agree with Steve. Thanks for taking the time to. Well, Tim just could not wait to get out of here.
He wants to go watch the Celtics beat the Kings too. I mean,
I feel like that would be a very enjoyable thing for people to watch.
It wouldn't be enjoyable for you.
Not for me. Yeah. I mean, I just don't watch it anymore. That's the thing, I have not. I can't remember last season where I've watched this few games. Obviously having 3 kids now influences that, but man, I just have no interest or desire to follow along.
I'm not going to pile on. I get it when there's not the young talent to be rooting for. There's no direction. I mean, we've had those years in Boston. It's been a while, but we've been there. So you're not no changing of the guard to follow along with it or anything. It's just when it's just bad basketball. It's just bad basketball. You've got better things to do with your time.
Yeah. Nope. Well put. Well, cool. Well, I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you guys. Yeah, see you guys next week. See you.
Awesome. Appreciate it. See you, everyone.
See you.